watching BBN Tonight, presented by UK Federal Credit Union.
Welcome back to BBN Tonight.
Yeah, happy to be joined now by the voice of the Batcats, Darren Headrick with the UK Sports Network. There he is. So good to see you, Darren.
It's great to see you guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, Darren, Chase Estep is off to a really excellent start. Seems like he's made a huge jump from year 2 to year 3. He's got 36 home runs and is leading the team in batting average at .429. We knew he was going to be an important piece for this team, but has he exceeded everyone's expectations so far?
I really think he has on some levels with the way he's hitting right now. I mean, he has just come out like a house of fire. Like you mentioned, he's hit a lot of home runs. He's driving in runs, but more importantly, he's a consistent bat at that top of the order behind Ryan Ritter. He did a lot in the offseason to really focus his body to where he needed it to be. He's playing great at third base, and it's been great to see him emerge after going through a tough season last year.
Well, you brought him up. The other guy on the team with 30-plus home runs, shortstop Ryan Ritter, had the all preseason talk, getting the draft buzz. He's continued to make those spectacular plays this season. What have you seen from him now that we're just over a third of the way through the season?
I think the biggest thing for Ryan is he's been consistent. He's been solid. You know, he's got a lot of pressure on him right now, but the home run numbers are starting to go up. The power numbers are starting to appear there, and his glove is just dynamite. He's a phenomenal shortstop defensively. Now we're seeing the bat catch up to it this year, and he's just taking this game to the next level.
Pitching staff was a big question mark coming into this year, but the group has been pretty solid. Kentucky ranks 11th in the nation in strikeouts per 9 innings. Darren, what have you seen from this group?
Well, you know, I think the biggest thing is they are getting the strikeout numbers, but the other side of that coin is they're giving up more runs than they want to right now. And I think you're seeing a side effect of COVID and the pandemic and everybody getting that extra year of eligibility. We're seeing some really veteran lineups across the board. And with that experience as a hitter, it's harder to get guys out. There's a lot more grinding at bats. So the pitchers are having to adjust right now. They're having to make sure they execute and locate their pitches. And it's led to some runs at times, but I do think it's very encouraging, like you said, Anna, to see the strikeout numbers.
Hey, Darren, Georgia is coming to Kentucky Proud Park this weekend, and the Dogs are tough. They just won 2 out of 3 over Mississippi State and beat Florida in an exhibition just before the season started. For real, what can we expect out of this series?
Well, Georgia's a team, Keith, that can hit. They can hit the cover off the baseball. They're the #1 RPI team in the nation. Kentucky gets #1 RPI this week, the #1 overall team next week. So it's going to be a couple of fun games at Kentucky Proud Park. But I think for me, the big series, the big game is going to be Friday. Can Cole Stupp get back on the mound against Georgia and have a similar performance to what he did last year when he went 8 innings and shut down the Bulldogs? But the biggest thing for me, Georgia's got a couple of good arms Friday and Saturday. The biggest thing, though, Kentucky's got to keep them from piling up the runs, which is what they can do.
All right, we can't let you go without talking women's basketball. This is the first time we've had you on since the tournament loss. We just want to know how you're going to remember this season.
Well, when I look back, Anna, at this team, I'm going to remember the lows that they went through during the season in January to the highs of winning an SEC tournament championship. Guys, I mean, you're talking about the first team to ever in a Power 5 tournament from a #7 seed go on to win the championship by knocking off the #3, the #2, and the #1 seeds. A team that beat a #1 ranked opponent for the second time in program history, won an SEC tournament for the first time in 40 years. I'm going to choose to remember that 10-game ride that they took us on and not how things ended up against Princeton in the tournament, because this certainly was a historic team and one that I think you'll have to remember fondly for a long time.
Yeah, and Darren, I think what excites me about next year is we already had one coach's kid in Jada Walker, and I think next year they're going to have like Blair Green also. But then she didn't play last year, and then you're going to have another one coming in, maybe 2 more. So I think that's really exciting. So Darren, thanks so much. Great talking with you about baseball and basketball. Have a good one.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me as always.
More BBN Tonight is right after this.